Hey everybody, what's up? OCD Mikey for another edition of the Mikey Show, and I just brought out my Magnepan 3.7 eyes that I modded, and I sold them to one of my tribe members. He called up, he said I'll buy them. He hadn't even seen them. He just trusts Mikey. He's coming to get them, and I just pulled them out. They've been kind of packed away with boxes in front of them, so I haven't looked at the faces of these. I haven't inspected them in a long time. And I'm so impressed with the modification that I'm just going to show you guys this thing because it deserves to be documented before these disappear into the tribe, into the hands of the tribe. And I tell you, he's coming, and he is going to get a heck of a deal for what he's getting. I'm looking at these things, I'm like blown away. They're built better than Magnepan builds them, in my opinion. So take a look. Here is the 3.7 eye. And I'll tell you what I did to make this the way it is, and then you guys can figure it out, because I don't have the plans, and I'm not going to sit and draw them out for you or write out the plans or do any shit like that. If you're somewhat mechanical and have ingenuity, you'll be able to figure out what I did. The first thing I did was I completely took the Magnepan, took off the sock, stripped it down, took off the wood stiles. There's two vertical strips. I pulled those off, took the sock off, and left what is a thin Magnepan on MDF in black. It's sprayed, and that's what I started with, okay? Then what I did was I went ahead and I took a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, pre-finish, which you can see right here. There, the light gets a little bit better. It's pre-finished ply. I took a router and I cut out, we measured the size of the panel. We cut out all the way around to the size of the panel. This, again, underneath is an MDF plate, which is from Magnepan. So Magnepan is like this. It's a flat piece right here. If you look close, you can see the back of the metal part over here. This is MDF, this thick. So there's a thin frame, and then there's this in between, and then we've got the tweeter right here, okay, as I run my finger across. And so I took and we drill through the front. So the hole that comes back here on the MDF is the natural hole that's in the Maggie. This is already there. And normally you put a wood screw through here and you hold a piece of wood on the front. That's how Magnepan does it. So it's just a wood screw that holds, that threads into a piece of wood. So what I did was I popped this through with a carriage bolt using stainless steel, which is non-magnetic, and then copper, or bronze, bronze washer and nut. And you can see this is a stainless carriage bolt that I polished. And you drill a hole through here and you pop it through. Really what you do is you lay the this MDF on the plywood and then you drill it through gently. You have to be careful, but there's a carriage so it covers any little frays. But that's how you get your holes right. You know what I mean? You go from the back with already the holes. You drill them out the front. You pop a carriage bolt through. You put a washer and a nut on back, which sandwiches these two things together. Now, if I pull this thing off, you can see how it's done, right? This is the Magnepan on the right, and I called Magnepan, got a new sock, put on the sock, and then here's the plywood that I put on there. Then you get a piece of aluminum C-channel, you know, just like this, okay? Which I think 1.5, it fit perfectly. I found the frickin' perfect size, man. I mean, look at that. Look at that fit. And this is an off-the-shelf size, 1.5 inch. And then I took this thing, I had it polished, I had it cut to the proper length, and you just push it right on. It stays right on there. Now, if I wanted to, I could glue it with hot glue. I could put Velcro. I could do whatever. We made a little top cover out of wood that goes across the top, made out of some walnut or something like that. That was interesting. This is the other side. And then here it shows where all the natural holes in the back baffle are. We just popped them through and put carriage bolts. I say we because Big John helped me with this whole project. Okay, then what we did was we beveled. When we cut this with the router, we beveled it at a 45 to give a little wide dispersion on the tweeter since it was recessed. And then we put a little felt on the inside, just for any reflection or anything like that. This one, we put a bullnose edge on it. And then we went ahead and put varnish, and we finished this. We sanded it and put our own varnish because we wanted to, even though this was pre-finish, we wanted to finish this edge, which was raw after we were done. We sanded it and finished it. Okay, and then to make the other thing that's a problem with Maggies is they're flimsy, right? So when you put those together and you bolt these together, you make a much stronger baffle, okay? It's more rigid, and especially with these aluminum C channels, gives it torsional rigidity, and just structural, it gives it, let's just say it gives it structural rigidity. And then we come in with these steel, this is steel, it's C channel, okay? So if let me see, I think I've got one off over here. Okay, so this is C channel, okay? And this, and you can see, so we put on the front, it's got the carriage bolt. We just extended them through here. They're a little longer here, as you can see up there. But down here, you just pop them through this. We drilled these steel, and the C channel, which is available on McMaster car, I think it's called industrial strut channel. And you can get it powder coated in white, just like this, and then you can get this plastic cover that allows you to cover it and finish it, right? So I got these are standard sizes, these uprights, 2 uprights, and you make a T shape, okay? So you can see we've got the uprights, and then we've got these, which is the same piece, but it's laid flat, and then you fasten it using the fasteners that they have. These are also stainless steel, heavy duty, bro. I mean, look at that shit. These are bolts that you could use for serious structural work, okay? This is no joke. They're big, fat bolts. You crank them down. There's nothing that's bending this shit. I mean, look at how these are fastened. They're totally hardcore. And then we have a brace that goes straight across at the back so that these two things don't do this, don't get wiggly. And then we've got a 45-degree steel support. Look how thick that is, okay? That goes up here. So these Maggies, we could jump on those and sled down a hill on them. Like, I mean, that's how rigid these are. There's no way this is getting a back and forth motion like over here. Okay, so we're not going to get any of this motion at all. This thing is rigid and heavy duty. Now, in addition to that, what I did, and here I have the tweeter off on here, you can see, instead of wire, that cheap-ass shit wire that Magnepan uses, maybe they changed it now, we've got metal foil, pure silver foil. See that foil? 1-inch wide silver foil. Down here, it's faded, it's folded, and the silver foil comes over to WBT Next Gen pure silver binding post. Okay, and then here's the other two. So this is the mids and the highs up here, and I just used the location that I can't remember up here how I did that. I drilled these out. Okay, I drilled these out, and then the Maggie, the crossover goes right here. I used the cavity no, actually this is an empty cavity, but these are hardwired. So each one of these, you can see these go directly to the tweeter. One goes up, one goes over here, and that is silver foil to the tweeters. So this is a complete foil design. There is no wire at all in the Mikey Maggies. These are all foil. The foils down here that are on the panel soldered directly to to those binding posts down there. So there's no janky ass wires jumping or anything like that. It's a direct foil, pure silver foil job on these things. So what happens is you use an outboard crossover. Better yet, what we'll be doing here, what Huang will be doing, is he bought a 3-way active crossover from Sublime Audio from Mark, and he is going to be putting 3 amplifiers per side on this speaker, and then you can adjust the gain on each amp. So if you need more mid, you hit harder gain on the mid part of the crossover. If you need to cut back highs, you can cut them on the crossover there. But that's the advantage of having a fully active tri-amp speaker, which is what these will be. And then he'll add subs, which will make it fully active quad amp. These were my reference before the big speakers that I had, the big analysis audios. So these things are bad to the bone. These are full tilt Mikey reference level. What we have over here on the back was an experiment that turned out to be phenomenal. Here are BG Radia planar magnetic. These are some of the best mid-ranges I've yet encountered. Now, they sell these as tweeters. I use them as mid-ranges because they're 2 inches wide. So they make a sick planar magnetic mid-range. The magnets on these things are incredible. And so you can see right here, here's my BG Radia label. You can't even find these things anymore. They're so sweet. We cut them, put them into a matching baffle, doubled it up with plywood, put the edge borders on, or the C channel. And then what I did was I put this sort of a mount up top with a hoop. This little pin goes into that hoop up there, and then there's another pin on the bottom, and that pin comes right up here, and just you press it into that little thing, and it holds in from the side. You just give it a little push, and it locks in. What that does is it gives you a mid-range on the outside of this tweeter, and you can bend it. It curves. Or, I mean, it's adjustable, in other words, because it's on a hinge. So you can adjust for the sweet spot of where you're sitting and get the image totally dialed in. And it gives an extra wide image. It's crazy what these things do. It goes totally against conventional speaker design. It doesn't make sense to put mid-ranges out there instead of over here. But boy, does it sound great. And we loved it when we tried it. So I just wanted to let you know. Oh yeah, and then I still got to show you the other part. Okay, this is the best. Not I don't know if it's the best part or not, but it's a pretty kick-ass part. These are custom subs that I had made. You can see the curved back. This is 1.5 inch solid walnut front, and it's basically like a chopping block. And if we go like this, I've got it shrink wrapped because it's sitting out here. You can see an Acoustic Elegance 12-inch sub, and then we've got 2 passive radiators, one on top, one on the bottom, and this thing makes some killer bass. These cabinets are filled with a type of concrete slag that goes inside. It's like we can lay it up inside the cabinets to give it where it's like, I mean, zero resonance. These things are amazing. I don't know if Long is going to take them. He says he doesn't have room, but I think he should get these puppies, man, because they're matched for that Maggie setup. If he doesn't get them, these will be available for somebody who wants a sick subwoofer panel for mags. These are great for panel speakers. I will make, again, cash and carry. You guys come, cash and carry. Remember, there's these speakers too. These are going to have to go to a good home as well. And you remember these things, the Grandmasters, which are hella speakers, man. So bring cash and carry. Anyways, that's it. Just thought I would take a second to show you guys a super cool Magnepan project. I don't have time to do these real crazy projects, but I'm capable of doing ridiculous projects. You guys know I've got a patent in cables. So my brain is very adept at designing hi-fi as well as just selling it. But it's much easier to just sell it and not have to design it and create it. So that's the path I've taken. Plus, the demand from you guys is that's what I've responded to. So anyways, thanks for joining. I appreciate you. Please sign up for the channel if you haven't yet. And see you.